Ashe, greetings, a grand day, a grand rising, a grand and a beautiful day to you all. Once again, my fellow natural native earthly humans, and welcome to part 7 of another perspective, analysis, and interpretation of the very famous prose poem called Desiderata by the late Max Ehrmann. You don't know that it is yours truly, I, the Mystic P, along with, of course, this my companion, my old bass guitar, and of course, my chirping bird sounds right here, chirping and echoing the melodious, natural healing, comforting, therapeutic sounds in the background, the foreground, and all around yours truly. Now, just to remind you, as it is my custom, that if you haven't yet watched part 1 through to part 6 of this series of talks, I will suggest that you please do so before you continue to watch this part 7, or that you do so as soon as possible. As soon as you finish watching this part 7, you can go on to watching. Go back and watch part 1 to part 6. Right? I can almost assure you, like reading a book, you'll get much more of it out of it. And what I'm trying to convey, if you, read in that order, or or you're listening in that sequence or in that order. To begin this part 7 of this talk, let me once again quote the first stanza of Desiderata while keeping the emphasis on the word go. And I quote, "Go placidly amid the noise and haste, and remember what peace there may be in silence." Desiderata. Now, I ended part 6 by telling you that from my perspective, Max Ehrmann, the author of Desiderata, was very fatherly, very thoughtfully, very carefully, very lovingly, and very caringly saying to his daughter, or he said to his daughter, "Go." And where must she go? Some of you may ask. And my answer to that question is, as I've done in previous talks, is into the real world. Go to the real world, a world that is described as being filled with noise and haste. And what is really and truly meant by the word noise and the words noise and haste? Or, in all practicality, what does noise and haste truly represents, at least from my perspective? Well, first let us look at the meaning and definition of the word noise and what it represents. And then later, maybe in part 8, we look at the word haste and what it also means and what it also represents. Well, a quick Google search of the word noise will tell us that noise is a sound, especially one that is loud or one that is unpleasant or that causes disturbances or disturbance, and that the opposite of noise is silence. A quick Google search will tell you that. But let's look quickly, and let's quickly look at a deeper let's look at the word a little bit deeper. Let's take a deeper look at the word, if you will. At least four other meanings and definition of noise. Let's look at least four other meanings and definition of the word noise. And this time from the online Merriam-Webster's dictionary. There we see that noise is defined as, one I quote, loud, confused or senseless shouting or outcry. 2, loud sound, especially one that lacks agreeable musical quality or is noticeably unpleasant. And 3, any sound that is undesired or interferes with one's hearing of something, it's noise. And 4, an unwanted signal or a disturbance. And the definition of noise, as from all of this we can see the definition of noise as being no good sounds. And it continues, the dictionary continues to give more definition of noise, and all of them put together means nothing good. So what can we sensibly and logically deduce and take away from these four meanings and definition of noise? Well, from my perspective, the sensible and logical conclusion that we can deduce for these meanings, or from these meanings and definitions of noise, are as follows. Number 1, noise in and by itself is definitely not good. Noise is unpleasant. Noise is threatening. Noise is a nuisance to the soul and the essence of one's being. Simply put, noise is evil, or at the very best, noise represents evil. And if you doubt me and would like proof that noise is evil, or that noise represents evil, then I ask that you please just listen to the ominous sounds that a bomb makes when it has fallen. When it has fallen and exploded on its victims. Just listen to that sound, that noise. Just listen to the sound of shots fired, gunshots fired. Listen to the sounds of a plane crash, a train or a car crash, etc. And you know that noise is no good. Number 3, noise represents crime, violence, unfairness, injustice, thievery, wickedness. Noise represents corruption of every form. Noise represents kidnapping, assaults, and abuse of women and children. Number 4, noise represents politics and religions. And if again you doubt me, then just think about the amount of noise or noises that both politics and religion make and are making, and prove to me how they have made and are making the world a better place for us to live. Tell me how the noise that these religions and these churches, these politicians are making, tell me how they make the world a better and a safer and a more harmonious place to live. Not only tell me, show me as well. Noise represents all isms and schisms. Noise represents both mental and physical slavery and oppression. Noise represents torture and all forms of persecution. Noise represents pain and suffering. Number 5, noise is not music and music is not noise. I want to make the distinction here as a musician myself. In other words, music is, and music represents harmony, as in a chord. C-H-O-R-D, aka a chord. For example, in music, whenever 3 or more individual notes or 3 or more individual pitch, aka individual musical notes, are grouped and sounded together harmoniously, it is known as a chord. A chord. Another way of saying or describing this and the effects of these 3 notes resonating together is that they are on one accord. While on the contrary, noise is, and noise represents disharmony. Noise represents discord. Number 6, noise is chaos and confusion. Noise represents all forms of chaos and confusion. Or, at best, noise creates chaos and confusion. Noise is madness. Number 7, noise is madness, aka insanity. And noise represents madness, aka insanity. Above all, noise can make one go insane or crazy, or if you prefer, mad. And over time, noise will drive one insane. Over time, noise will drive one mentally deranged. In other words, noise can and noise will drive one out of his or her mind. For example, just imagine being locked in a room while having one or more people banging on the door or the walls, while loudly beating pots and cans, etc., outside and over your head. From this, one can logically deduce and very reasonably conclude that, contrary to those who make or create music, those who take pleasure or claim to find pleasure in what they claim to be making joyful noise or joyful noises are simply and practically the manifestation and demonstration of insanity, of madness. Another way of saying this is that to make a joyful noise is to prove that you are literally mad or insane. Or to claim that you are finding joy while making noise or while in noise is to have one question your sanity, and that is to say the least. Number 8, noise is a tool, a weapon, or an instrument of torture, torment, pain, and suffering. You name it, or you name them. And the evidence will show that noise is destructive, noise is not good, noise is evil. So please join me again tomorrow for part 8, if I am gifted with another day, and one in which I continue to experience and full joy, good health, freedom, safety, and good relationships with people like you all, my listeners and well-wishers. When and where I will continue to share with you some more of my perspective, my analysis and interpretation of Desiderata, aka another perspective and interpretation of Desiderata by yours truly, I, the Mystic Philosopher. In the meantime and between time, I ask that you continue to think and meditate some more on the word go. And lively up yourself. Full joy. Be more and more and much, much more. In your becoming, be more and more and much, much more. And definitely not bless. Don't be less, aka bless. For I am the Mystic Philosopher. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. I say.